Good morning, everyone. As you look out your window today, you might notice something different in the air, a crispness that feels more like late October than mid-September. Maybe you're reaching for that extra sweater or wrapping your hands around a hot cup of coffee, wondering if you're imagining things. It's mid-September, but there's an unusual chill in the air across much of the country. People are bundling up earlier than usual, and you can see your breath in the morning, a rare sight for this time of year. This isn't just a cool morning, it's a sign that our weather patterns might be shifting. The sudden drop in temperature has caught many off guard, and it's not just a fluke. Forecasters are watching the polar vortex, a real and powerful phenomenon that can unleash Arctic cold far earlier than normal. The polar vortex is a swirling mass of cold air high above the Arctic, and when it weakens or shifts, it can send waves of frigid air southward. Typically, September holds on to summer's warmth, with mild days and cool nights. But this year, the atmosphere is already showing signs of disruption, with temperatures well below average in many regions. Think of the polar vortex like a spinning top. When it wobbles, cold air escapes south. This wobble can be triggered by changes in the jet stream or unusual weather patterns in the upper atmosphere. Right now, that wobble is happening much earlier than usual, raising alarms among meteorologists. They're seeing signs that the polar vortex is already unstable, which could mean a long, cold season ahead. An early disturbance can set the tone for the entire winter, locking in patterns for months. If these cold fronts persist, we could be in for a winter that starts sooner and lasts longer than we're used to. If the polar vortex weakens now, we could see repeated blasts of frigid air throughout fall and winter. These surges can bring not just cold, but also increased chances of snow and ice storms. This isn't just about grabbing a heavier coat, it's about the risk of life-threatening cold, major snowstorms and widespread disruptions. Cities could see earlier snowfalls and rural areas might face even harsher conditions. We're talking about cold that can freeze pipes, strain power grids, and make travel dangerous. Icy roads, power outages, and flight cancellations could become more common, affecting daily life for millions. The early warning signs are here, and it's our job to help you prepare. Now is the time to check your emergency kits, review your home heating systems, and make sure you're ready for whatever winter may bring. Computer models and satellite imagery show a significant weakening of the winds that usually keep the coldest air locked up north. This breakdown in the jet stream is a key factor meteorologists are watching closely. While this isn't a guarantee of a brutal winter, it's a strong warning sign. The atmosphere is giving us clues, and it's wise to pay attention. The weather is sending us a message. Be aware, be ready, and don't underestimate what could be coming. Stay informed and take steps now to protect yourself and your loved ones. Let's dive into what this could mean for all of us and how you can stay ahead of the coming cold. Stay tuned as we break down the forecast and share tips to help you weather whatever this winter has in store. You've probably heard the term polar vortex tossed around on the news, especially during those bone-chilling winter months when temperatures suddenly plummet and headlines warn of record-breaking cold. But what does it really mean? Is it just another buzzword, or is there real science behind it? The polar vortex is actually a gigantic pool of extremely cold, low-pressure air that spins high above both the North and South poles. It's a natural part of our planet's atmospheric system, and it's been swirling up there for as long as Earth has had seasons. This icy air mass is surrounded by a powerful band of fast-moving winds, almost like an invisible fence that circles the pole and keeps the frigid air locked in place. When the polar vortex is strong and stable, that fence holds tight. The cold air stays trapped near the pole, and winter in the rest of the world is pretty much what you'd expect, chilly but manageable. But sometimes that protective barrier weakens or becomes wavy, and that's when things get interesting. Chunks of Arctic air can escape, breaking away from the vortex and plunging southward into regions that aren't used to such extreme cold. That's when we experience those sudden deep freezes, blizzards, and record-shattering cold snaps that can last for days or even weeks. A weak polar vortex doesn't mean there's a swirling tornado of cold air overhead. It simply means the gatekeeper is down, and the Arctic's icy grip can reach much farther south than usual. During these outbreaks, cities like Chicago or New York can find themselves colder than parts of Alaska, with temperatures dropping well below zero and wind chills making it feel even more brutal. The polar vortex is always present, swirling above us, but in recent years, scientists have noticed it's been weakening and becoming unstable more often, leading to more frequent disruptions in our weather patterns. Researchers are still working to understand exactly why this is happening. Some point to climate change, others to natural cycles. But the trend is clear. Our winters are becoming less predictable. When the vortex is strong, the cold stays locked up north, far from most of us. But when it weakens, dangerous cold can spill south, bringing hazardous conditions to millions. That's why meteorologists and weather experts are keeping a close eye on the polar vortex, especially as early signs of instability appear this year. Understanding how the polar vortex works and how it's changing is key to preparing for winter's risks and staying safe when the next big chill arrives. Right now, the data is raising red flags. We're seeing a sudden stratospheric warming event over the Arctic, an early disruption that can destabilize the polar vortex. These events usually happen in midwinter, not September, making this highly unusual. If the vortex stays weak, we could face a persistent pattern of cold starting this fall. Computer models predict this weakened state could last. Increasing the odds of Arctic air spilling into the U.S. low Arctic sea ice is another concern. More open water means more heat released, further destabilizing the atmosphere. It's a chain reaction: less ice, warmer Arctic, weaker vortex, and more cold outbreaks. The evidence is mounting. We need to brace for an early, possibly severe winter. These are real, measurable changes happening right now. If the polar vortex stays weak, fall could feel more like winter. Expect sudden, dramatic drops in temperature. 1 week autumn, the next a deep freeze. Early cold outbreaks mean a higher risk of snow, even outside the mountains. Lake-effect snowstorms could bury cities, and widespread snow could hit the Midwest and Northeast. Early, heavy snow can paralyze cities and disrupt travel before snowplows are even ready. Extreme cold strains our energy grid and puts people at risk for frostbite and hypothermia. Agriculture, transportation, and household budgets could all take a hit from an early, harsh winter. A weak polar vortex isn't just a weather story, it's a story about our safety and economy. To understand what's at stake, look back at recent history. The polar vortex made headlines in 2014, sending record cold into the U.S. Chicago hit -16, with wind chills far worse. Schools and businesses closed and daily life ground to a halt. In 2021, a polar vortex outbreak plunged Texas into chaos. Power plants failed, pipes burst, and millions lost heat. Hundreds died, and the damage was in the billions. These events proved that no region is immune to a major polar vortex disruption. Texas wasn't prepared, and the consequences were devastating. The lesson: preparation isn't just for the North. Everyone needs a plan. These aren't just stories, they're warnings. As we face another early warning, remember the images of frozen cities and families struggling to stay warm. Take forecasts seriously and prepare your home and family now. History has shown us what can happen. Let's be ready. It might seem strange, but how can a warming planet actually lead to more extreme winter cold in some places? This is a question that has puzzled many people, especially when they see headlines about record-breaking cold snaps even as global temperatures rise. The answer lies in the Arctic, which is warming 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the planet, a phenomenon known as Arctic amplification. As the Arctic loses more sea ice and snow cover, it absorbs more sunlight, which accelerates the warming process even further. This rapid warming shrinks the temperature difference between the Arctic and the southern latitudes, which in turn weakens the powerful jet stream, a high-altitude river of wind that usually keeps cold Arctic air locked up north. When the jet stream weakens, it becomes wavier and more erratic. This allows frigid Arctic air to plunge much farther south than usual, while warm air can surge north, leading to wild swings in weather patterns and more frequent extremes. That's why in recent years we've seen record heat waves and record cold spells happening at the same time in different parts of the world. The atmosphere is becoming more unpredictable, and the boundaries between seasons are starting to blur. While not all scientists agree on every detail of this connection, a growing body of evidence suggests that a warming Arctic is playing a significant role in making our weather more chaotic and difficult to forecast. Climate change isn't just about hotter summers or melting ice caps. It's about a more unstable and unpredictable atmosphere, where extreme events can happen more often and with greater intensity. That instability means we can experience shocking winter cold snaps, even as the overall trend is toward a warmer planet. It's a reminder that climate change can bring surprises in many forms. The bottom line: climate change is loading the dice for more extreme weather of all kinds: hot, cold, wet, and dry. We all need to be ready for a future full of surprises and adapt to a world where the unexpected is becoming the new normal. Hearing about a polar vortex can be alarming, but preparation is your best defense. Check your winter supplies: coats, hats, gloves, and boots for everyone. Seal cracks around windows and doors to keep the cold out and save on heating. Make sure your heating system works. Get it inspected before the cold hits. Build a home emergency kit: flashlights, batteries, a radio, first aid kit, non-perishable food, water, and warm bedding. Prepare your car. Check tire pressure, antifreeze, and battery. Keep a winter kit in your trunk: blanket, warm clothes, flashlight, shovel, ice scraper, snacks, and water. If you get stranded, these supplies could save your life. Simple steps now can turn a crisis into a manageable inconvenience. Don't wait for the first freeze. Get ready today. Preparation is peace of mind. Stay ahead of the cold. When extreme cold hits, take action to protect your home and loved ones. Let faucets drip to prevent pipes from freezing and bursting. Open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate around pipes. Insulate water lines in unheated areas. Never use a gas stove or grill to heat your home. Carbon monoxide is deadly. Use space heaters safely. Keep them away from flammable items and make sure they have automatic shutoff. Check your carbon monoxide and smoke detectors now. Dress in layers, even indoors, and wear a hat to retain body heat. Limit time outside, and cover exposed skin to prevent frostbite. Watch for signs of hypothermia, shivering, confusion, drowsiness, and act fast if you see them. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly or those living alone. Community support can make all the difference during a cold snap. We're stronger when we look out for each other. The message is clear. Winter may arrive early and with force. The signs of a weakening polar vortex are real, and the risk of dangerous cold outbreaks is rising. Don't panic, but do prepare. Check supplies, ready your home and car, and make an emergency plan. Stay informed, follow local forecasts, and enable emergency alerts on your phone. Preparation is the key to resilience. Enjoy autumn, but keep an eye on the forecast. Winter could be just around the corner. The chill in the air may be just the beginning. Be smart, be safe, and be ready. We'll get through this together, but it starts with each of us taking action now. Stay warm and stay tuned.